Washington State and UCLA. We stay in the Pac-12. UCLA 4-point home favorites, 59 the total in this one. Real intriguing matchup here. Here we go. We got an unranked team versus a ranked team. And, sometimes people want to lay the points with the unranked team here in this situation. I'm not saying I'll buck that thought process and take Washington State, but I respect Washington State enough not to lay 4 with UCLA here because I really think highly of this Washington State team. Cameron Ward's been great. He's right there so far with everything we've seen with some of the best quarterbacks in this conference. And it's a great conference for quarterbacks this year, the Pac-12. Bo Nix and Caleb Williams and obviously Cameron Ward and DJU, even though he's been a little more erratic. It's a really, really good conference as far as quarterback play. Michael Penix Jr., I can't believe it took me so long to mention him. I mean, you go on down the list, it is a really good conference for quarterbacks. And Cameron Ward is throwing his name into the mix here. He's played extremely well. When you look at this UCLA team, Conor, off the loss against Utah, bye week, by the way, for both teams, so there's no advantage there. Dante Moore is their quarterback of the future. He had growing pains, big struggles against Utah's defense, but Washington State defense not nearly as good. I don't know. I still think this is a close game. The Cougars have given me no reason to bet against them right now as an underdog. Everything they have shown me is that this is a really good football team that's taken a chip on their shoulder because nobody's talking about them in this conference compared to, USC, Oregon, Washington, a lot of the other heavyweights. I'm tempted by Washington State plus the points here, even though UCLA is pretty good at home. And Dante Moore is one of those quarterbacks. He's played better at home than on the road so far. I still lean Wazoo here, getting 3.5, 4 points in this game. Certainly would lean over the total as well, 59. Probably should see some points. As much as UCLA's offense struggled last game that was on the road at Utah, home against Washington State, they should be able to get some semblance of offense back on track. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, this line I think is sharp. It's right where it should be. UCLA, big home. These are those games that, it just is a difference in a year. Like where Washington State in the past with some of these years start like this, and this is where they'll lose. This is why this is 3.5, 4. But I do like Cam Ward. I think this is a little bit different. That maybe Oregon, we're gonna, down the line, but I think they could go here to the Rose Bowl, and this game could be tight. So just initially, I have to back Washington State. That's where I'm looking at here. I think with Watson's a solid running back. And we've been talking about Cam Ward since last year, how good he is. So he's excellent.
Here's my thinking with where this number is. And you said I think it is reasonably sharp. But if you strip the name Washington State Cougars off this team, but they had the same statistical profile that they've accumulated to this point, the same schedule of teams that they've faced to this point, and you put the name Washington or Oregon or USC or one of those other big name Pac-12 teams attached to this team with the schedule they've played, the personnel they have, the stats they have, the record they have, I don't think UCLA would be laying this much. I think UCLA would be laying less than a field goal at home or maybe even closer to pick them. I think because it's Washington State and people don't think of them as a big-time football team in this conference, you're actually seeing UCLA still favored by more than a field goal in this game. Where I think, again, if you attach the same schedule, stats, and record to Oregon, USC in this spot at UCLA wouldn't be laying this much. But because it's Washington State, they're laying a little more. That's why I think there is value on Washington State and what I think could very well be a field goal game here.
Yeah, I for sure. And I'd love to see them, outside of Pullman, go here on the road and win. I think they can.
It's a really good game. I'm looking forward to that.
I think it's going to be good.